Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinics, with physicians, physical therapists, and trainers who treat sports and performance-related injuries, with locations across the valley. More information on services and locations at stalphonsus.org/stayactive.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. This morning, we tell you how Idaho hunters will be rewarded for using non-toxic ammunition. We'll also tell you about some classic motorcyclists rolling through Idaho today. And we have news of the death of an Idaho sports legend. It is Tuesday, the 16th of September, and here come today's stories. One of the most successful and notable girls basketball coaches in Idaho history has died. Troy Abbey has this remembrance.
A.C. Shaw coached the Dietrich Blue Devils to the first of what would be 4 straight girls basketball state 1A Division II titles between 2011 and 2014. Shaw, though, coached from a wheelchair starting in fall of 2011. After that first title, he'd contracted a debilitating virus from a newborn calf he drove in the cab of his truck to a warming station the previous winter. He was just 36 when the virus left him unable to walk and limited his speech and motor function. But he continued to coach and was profiled in 2015 on ESPN's E60 documentary series.
I knew my mind was there, it's just my body couldn't function like it used to.
Shaw's Blue Devils came within 8 points of a 5th straight state title in 2015. Shaw coached until March of 2020, retiring after 16 seasons. He died Sunday, according to social media posts from his family. He was 51. Troy Abbey, Boise State Public Radio News.
On the fire watch, Idaho firefighters hoping to take some advantage of the cooler temperatures in their efforts to quell wildfires across the region. First, checking the Rock Fire, which has burned nearly 2,800 acres southwest of Donnelly. The rock is about 95% contained. 85 firefighting personnel remain on the scene. The Ulm Creek Fire has burned nearly 3,000 acres near the Idaho-Montana border. That's 10% contained. The Rush Fire has burned nearly 8,000 acres in the Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness. That about 90% contained. And the Island Creek Fire has burned nearly 15,000 acres north of Elk City. It is only 5% contained. Now to the Trans-American Motorcycle Endurance Run, a cross-country run of motorcycles, all of them at least 100 years old, rolling across 4,000 miles. They kicked into gear earlier this month, taking off from Nags Head, North Carolina. They've rolled through Tennessee, Missouri, Kansas, Colorado, Utah, and today they are in Twin Falls. And from here, they roll over to Oregon, and they're expected to hit the Pacific Coast Highway by Friday. And again, to participate, those motorcycles are at least 100 years old. This fall, the federal government will reimburse Idaho hunters who choose non-toxic ammunition. Rachel Cohen tells us more about the expansion of a pilot program meant to help wildlife.
Hunters at 13 U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service refuges this fall can get up to $100 in gift cards for 2 boxes of lead-free ammunition. That's almost double the 7 refuges in the first year, and it now includes one spot in the Mountain West, the Camas National Wildlife Refuge in Idaho, for elk hunting. Federal officials say the program encourages hunters to try other ammo, like copper bullets, that reduce the risk of lead poisoning by scavenging wildlife. But Aaron Kindle says the transition can take some getting used to. He's an avid hunter in Colorado and works for the National Wildlife Federation.
It's not just you just put a different bullet in and you go shoot it. You have to go to the range, sight it in, see how your gun acts with it.
So Kindle says the monetary nudge helps. For the Mountain West News Bureau, I'm Rachel Cohen.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. You can stay in touch online at boisestatepublicradio.org, on the Boise State Public Radio app, and tell your friends about The Connector. They can find it wherever they find their favorite podcasts. For now, thanks for listening.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Marielle Segarra. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.